Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Hard Reset, a Cold North production. I am your host, Patrick the Law Morris. Joining me this week, we have the tenacious Tim Rack and I Miller.
Wow, that was the intro. Thank you.
I know, you're welcome. I'm actually auditioning for a monster truck rally soon, so I figured,
Nice.
That setup looks sick. I'm sorry. Tim had just sent me a picture of his new audio interface. He got a Go XLR, and he has it all set up with his colors and everything, and it looks fucking awesome, and I'm super stoked on it. Anyway, we're back this week. We're going to be talking about Gamescom Opening Night Live. We're just going to run down like everything, kind of talk about what we liked, what we didn't like. But before we get to all that, I do want to know what you've been playing this week. Tim, tell me what you've been playing.
So I've actually been playing Xenoblade Chronicles Remastered, the definitive edition for Switch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you played it before?
I had not. I'd been talking with my friend Alan recently, and he got the third one, and he said it was probably the best one, and that as an RPG fan, I kind of needed to play it, but there was a lot of stuff like taken from the first two games that if I didn't play them, I'd be kind of lost. So I was like, all right, that's kind of a bummer, but good chance to get into the series. So I decided to pick that up, and I'm about 40 hours in now, and I'm absolutely loving it.
Nice. I mean, it's interesting to me that was a blind spot for you, because that really seems like your type of game.
Yeah, I mean, it came back out on the Wii, and by the time it came out on the Wii, I had made the switch to 360 and didn't really care about the Wii anymore.
Right. Well, I mean, it originally came out on Wii, and then okay, so Xenoblade. This is a series, and maybe you have some understanding of it that you can explain something to me, because I've been wondering for the past couple weeks since hearing coverage on Chronicles 3. So, what's the first game in the whole franchise? Is it Xenoblade Chronicles?
In this iteration, yes. I think it has ties back to Xenogears, but don't quote me on that.
That's ultimately what I'm wondering are Xenoblade and Xenogears the same thing?
I know they're not in the same storyline as far as that goes. I don't know how much they relate, though.
Do they exist in the same universe?
You got me. I've never played Xenogears. I've only heard tellings. This is my first foray into the franchise in any sense.
Okay, so. All right. And then, so it was originally released on Wii, and then there was that.
It was a 3DS remake, I think.
There was a new 3DS remake. And it was only on new 3DS, I think.
Yep.
3DS. Xenoblade Chronicles 3D was remade on 3DS, and then it was remastered on Switch.
Yep. As a definitive edition. Yep.
All right. And so do you think that you're you're 40 hours in. I've heard that these games are 100, 150 hours. Do you think you're going to go 1, 2, 3?
Probably. I kind of got to stay on it, or else I'm just going to forget about it.
Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense.
But this one hasn't actually been that long. I've looked it up, and I'm about 3/4 of the way through the game at 40 hours. So.
Oh, okay. So that's not horrible.
Yeah, a lot of the extra playtime comes from side quests, because there are hundreds of them, but they're not 100% necessary. So I've just been powering through the main story.
Interesting. Okay, and then what the hell is Xenoblade Chronicles X? Because that was the Wii U one.
That was the Wii U one. It doesn't really have anything else to do except the name. It's completely different from all the rest of them. It was an MMO. Or it was marketed. It was marketed as an MMO, but playing with your friends is actually not very easy. As my buddy and I found out earlier this year when we tried it out. because I do have
Wow.
that, and I have played like 20 hours of that one. But
Is it still online?
it is, yep.
Wow.
Wii U.
Interesting. Okay, well, good for the Wii U. Keep on trucking. So okay, well, that sounds. I mean, that's very surprising that that's like a blind spot for you because that seems like you love the JRPGs.
Yep.
So I'm excited for you. It seems like it's really your cup of tea. And you have, I mean, Chronicles 2 and Chronicles 3 are huge games. So seems like you've got a lot ahead of you.
Yeah, it's good. I'll have plenty to keep me occupied now.
Yeah, especially on your new Switch OLED. I didn't even, oh my God, I didn't even get impressions. How do you like the OLED?
I love the screen. It's a lot bigger. One thing I don't like about it is the top button interface. I feel like they've scrunched down the buttons a little too much. They're a bit
They're like
harder
a little
to
more
use.
recessed than on
Yep.
the stand. That was like one of the first things I noticed when I got my OLED.
Yep. But yeah, I like it. The stand is amazing. It is a far cry
Yes.
above the day one Switch stand.
Oh yeah, it's like
that's
an
beautiful.
actual functional kickstand.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it feels nice. It's much brighter. Like I can actually go sit out on my porch and play it. I don't have to worry about anything like that. I love the new dock. I do like the white look. It's a lot sleeker. It's just a lot better. Plus now I can plug directly into Ethernet without something dangling off my dock, which is great.
Yeah, man, I love the Switch OLED. I'm supposed to be hearing about my Steam Deck like relatively soon, and in that I'm like getting, I'm getting hyped. I'm watching videos, and the main thing that I keep hearing is like, oh, this like Steam Deck is amazing, but I do wish that it had the Switch OLED screen. And so, having been playing the Switch OLED for like almost a year, I will be sad to go over to a Steam Deck, considering how into the OLED I've been.
I'm sure you'll get your enjoyment out of it anyways, because you'll have a much bigger game library to pull from.
For
And
sure.
a lot of games you can't even get on Switch. So
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be a good time. All right. Well, I this week I actually played. I've been having trouble like getting the motivation to play games lately, and so I sat down and I'm working on a video about the Godfather across mediums. And so I like sat down and I replayed the entire Godfather game on 360.
oh wow.
And yeah, that game is just so weird. Did you ever play it?
No, I never did.
It's so strange because like I remember really loving that game. And then I like started it and I played it was seriously a chore to get through the first like 2 hours of the game. But once I got through those 2 hours, it was like I just couldn't put it down. I could not put it down. And I was like looking at it and I was like, I would like try and analyze, my thoughts and feelings about this game. And I'm like, this isn't a good game. Like, I'm not like, this is not a particularly competent game, but I'm really enjoying myself and I don't know why. And so I couldn't put it down, beat it in about 2 days, and it was awesome. I like that game still really holds up. I loved that game. I don't know why. And that's like
that's the worst part, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so frustrating because it's like is it good? Yeah. Why? I don't know. Just play it and get through the first 2 hours and you'll get into like the rhythm of, because it's not a situation of like it gives you the next story mission right away after you finish a story mission. And so it forces you to just sort of exist in this world and go out and do stuff in between story missions.
Yep.
And like sometimes if your rank is high enough or if your take is high enough or whatever, it will just give them to you right away. But if it's not, or and if it's not, sometimes it'll be like, go, extort businesses, take over rackets, whatever, to up your take, to increase your take so that you're bringing more money in for the family. And then once you like do that a few times, go take over a few new rackets, get a few new businesses on the books, then it'll give you the next story mission. Or sometimes it doesn't. It's completely arbitrary. It doesn't like, it's not like, oh yeah, you need to go get more money. That's just a persistent objective throughout the entire game. And sometimes it's just like, yeah, wait for us to call. And then you just like go exist in that world until you hear a phone ringing and you pick up the phone and there they are. And I really loved that. I loved how the game like forced you to, if you want to continue, you have to just go be a part of this world. And I mean, for something that was originally on the PlayStation 2 and Xbox, it's a really solid experience, I would say.
That's pretty good. I mean, especially considering back then, like actually having you live within the world.
Right.
I can definitely see the appeal of that because like you become attached to it, and I'm pretty sure that's why you've come to like it.
Right. Exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was like the main point.
Yeah, and so like it's it's a lot like it is slower paced, and it's a lot like Red Dead Redemption in that sense of, and especially like looking back. It wasn't particularly well made. Like it's pretty janky, but it's clear what they were like going for. And they were going for like, hey, we want to give you the opportunity to exist in this like absolutely iconic world of The Godfather. And so and so it is a lot like Red Dead Redemption 2 in the sense that like, yeah, it really like, there are so many different systems all interwoven together, and you go out into the world and you just interact with those systems in a super organic way. And that's like, it's those times between missions are like kind of go create your own fun. And that's a lot of fun. And like, especially going back to, God, I think the PS2 version came out in like 2005. Open worlds like that, like, GTA and stuff, were still a very novel concept, right? They were still like super new. So, yeah, man, I was pretty stoked on it. I played it again. I loved it. And, I like, especially for you, like you're really into, older, more retro games. Like I would definitely recommend it. Like if you can find a copy for cheap, it's fun.
I'll have to give it a shot if I can find it.
And you've seen The Godfather, right?
If I say no, will you hate me?
Oh my God. No, I'm not going to hate you, but I'm just going to make you watch it with me because like I need to rewatch the movie because I'm in the middle of rereading the book. And because I'm doing like, Godfather across 3 different mediums.
Yeah.
So I'm in the middle of rereading the book. I think it's like my 3rd or 4th time reading the book. And I need to rewatch the movie. So when I do, guess what? You're going to have to watch it with me because if you have never seen The Godfather, holy shit, man.
I don't know. It's never appealed to me. Like,
oh man.
I don't know. Like I've heard it's like one of the greatest movies of all time, but like mob bosses and all that kind of stuff, it's just never appealed to me in that sense.
Really? Like mafia stuff has never been your cup of tea? That's insane to me. I love that stuff. I absolutely love that stuff. Okay, but guess what? We're going to watch The Godfather together anyway because because like you said, it's one of the greatest movies ever made. So you're going to have to sit through it anyway. All right. Now that I've strong-armed Tim into that, it's time for the topic of the show. All right, topic of the show. We're going to be talking about Gamescom Opening Night Live. Just we don't really have a structure set up for this, so I was thinking that, you know what, let's just start with, how do you feel about Gamescom? Like, just generally overall, what kind of impression do you get from Gamescom?
I mean, I like it. I feel like it's what I'd want E3 to be, or still to be, because it just hasn't happened recently.
Really? Okay,
Yeah, it's just a nice small. It's just I wouldn't say small, but a nice convention where people can just show off their games. I still like that sort of thing. I still wish that sort of thing existed more in this day and age.
I mean, okay, I absolutely don't disagree with you on that. I love that. And I think that, you know, we hear all these like games journalists saying shit like, oh, E3 needs to die or E3 sucks. And it's like, okay, that, like, I hate to use the term privilege, but like that is super privileged for you to say, oh, E3 sucks, because it's like, yeah, it's because you go to it. Like, it's because you get to go to it. And like, for those of us that, you know, are either trying to break into the industry and like, or those of us who are super into, like, just super into games, you know, it is kind of a mecca. And for those people that like go around shitting on it, it's like, that's just disrespectful. It's like, I don't know. It's kind of a celebration of games. And I do agree with you that I like that Gamescom has, like, they were really good about getting back on the horse after COVID. And I mean, E3 still hasn't done that yet, not until next year. But I do always, or at least I have always felt like E3 is, or Gamescom is like a step or two below what I expect from E3 and what E3 can typically deliver.
Yeah, but I mean, with E3 kind of pushing themselves to the side and saying, "Hey, we don't want to have our convention still with COVID around," and
right,
I mean, the best we're gonna get. So I mean, I feel like they've done a decent job this year. They had plenty of trailers, plenty of panels, it seems, and they had a bunch of setups. Like, I've seen quite a few different different pictures.
Have you seen
the games and stuff they set up?
Have you seen the pictures of the AEW Fight Forever booth?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that looks so awesome. It's just straight up a wrestling ring. That looks so cool. I love it. Okay, so I think that we're in agreement. Like, you know, it doesn't hit those high highs. Like, it doesn't live up to what E3 used to be, but like, in the absence of E3, because E3 seems to not be in any rush to get back, at least we have something. And I agree with you about that. So like, was there anything that really, like, what was the number one standout to you through opening night live?
Honestly, and I know people are going to be surprised to hear this, probably Sonic Frontiers. It actually looks like it's coming together.
It looks finally so good, and I hate Sonic.
I have been worried since they like put out their first trailer.
The IGN first.
Back in May, June, whenever that was.
Since the IGN first, when it just looked terrible.
It looked awful. Like, it looked very empty. It looked very unpolished. But with this newest trailer, like, we're finally getting bits of story. We're finally seeing more of the stages. We're actually seeing a new area we haven't even seen. It's set in a desert, which is pretty exciting. And the landscape actually looks beautiful now. Like,
the landscape looks awesome. And you know what? Like, and you play a lot more Sonic than I do. So correct me if I'm wrong on this. It looks a lot like Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2.
I feel like that's the step they're trying to head in more of an, I guess, RPG style along the lines of Adventure 1. But yeah, like, the combat looks pretty fun. It looks very fast paced, like, which is Sonic's MO. So I'm okay with having to do a little bit of button mashing for that. And yeah, like, I think it was the standout because of how much better it looked. Like, there's still a lot of interesting new stuff, but that one was the one that really surprised me.
Well, they planted a flag in the ground November 8th.
Yep.
And like I know that people were starting to get a little bit worried that this game wasn't going to hit 2022. November 8th is a bold choice. Like
Yep.
Skull and Bones, and then 2 days later you got it's the same day as Skull and Bones, and then 2 days later you got God of War. And people expect people to be like they're expecting people to be playing Sonic instead of Skull and Bones and God of War. Granted, I will play Sonic over Skull and Bones, but God of War, I mean, if I'm going to buy a game that week, it's going to be God of War.
I mean, I'll probably be getting both, but
yeah. So, which platform are you going to play this one on?
I don't know yet. I mean, I don't remember if it said it was coming to PC. If it's coming to PC, then definitely PC. If not, then probably be playing on Xbox.
Okay. That's interesting to me. I would have had you pegged for Switch.
The only reason I'm not picking up Switch immediately is because the last few Switch releases for Sonic have been bugged to hell.
That's right. You had a lot of problems with Sonic Colors.
I did. Yep. So.
To the point that you had to go and buy the Xbox version.
Yep. Like, I could not finish the game because there were so many issues.
That makes a lot of sense on why you would go straight to Xbox then.
Yep.
And PC, you put like a 3070 in your computer recently?
I did.
Nice. So, yeah, I mean, it definitely makes sense why you would choose either of those platforms over Switch, especially when the Switch, like, I don't know. It's a technical marvel, but like, it's getting long in the tooth.
I mean, I got the OLED now, so I have no reason not to get games for it. It's just...
Right.
If I have the capability to make it look better, I will. At least until I know that it's going to work on Switch. Like, I'd love to play it on Switch. Taking that stuff on the go, Sonic is pretty easy to pick up, play for 20 minutes, and put down.
Yeah,
so
definitely. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty stoked for Sonic. I am also super pumped on the Callisto Protocol.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I love me some survival horror. Like one of my favorite games of the entire generation last generation was Alien Isolation. I absolutely can't wait for Callisto Protocol.
See, this is like one of the few trailers I watched and was just super down on. I was like, oh, okay, another horror zombie shooter. Yay, I don't care.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
What was it that gave you that impression?
I think it was the person playing the game, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Like, watching the gameplay, I'm just like, this guy's... I get that they're trying to, like, show off mechanics and stuff, but I'm like, you could throw every enemy into the grinder. Why aren't you throwing every enemy into the grinder?
Yeah, it's like, come on, guy. You are not playing this game efficiently.
That's the speedrunner in me. I question a lot of that. But yeah, a lot of it looked... it just looked meh. It didn't stand out that much to me.
Interesting. Did you play Dead Space?
I did. I liked it. It was all right, but
so
I don't know. It's not one of those games I'd ever rave about in the previous generations.
Wow. Okay, so I never played Dead Space, but I'm super stoked for the Dead Space remake. And Callisto Protocol comes the month before Dead Space remake, and Callisto Protocol is from the same creator as Dead Space.
Yeah, Glenn Schofield.
Yep. So I'm super pumped for just that like 1-2 punch of Callisto Protocol and then Dead Space. It's just going to be an awesome couple of months for me because that's like Alien Isolation, Resident Evil 7 were two of my absolute favorite games of last year. Of last generation. I just had a blast with both of them. So super pumped for that.
And yeah, see, like I was the exact opposite. Like I hated Alien Isolation. I never finished it. And
yeah, that's right. You got too scared.
No, it wasn't that I got too scared. The mechanics were bullshit.
Oh yeah.
I did not like it. Like I'd throw a noisemaker and it wouldn't even work. I'm like, all right, what was the point of this? Now I'm dead. Like a lot of it frustrated me how like ineffectual all the mechanics that they wanted to put into it just were at times. I was like, all right, there's no point. I'm just gonna run. And that worked more often than not.
That makes sense. All right. Anything else you want to, I mean, obviously what do you want to talk about next, I guess, is what I'm saying.
All right. Well, let me scroll through the list here. I guess let's get the Telltale games out of the way. They put out a new Tales from the Borderlands that they said they were going to be doing.
Yeah, I
don't know. I'm not super pumped on that either.
me neither. I know that a lot of people really love the Telltale games. First of all, I don't really consider Telltale like this is I don't know. As it is, after Telltale went down, and then someone it really feels like someone just kind of dug up a corpse and like reanimated it, and it doesn't feel right. That being said, and like I know that a lot of people say, "Oh, Tales from the Borderlands is the best Telltale game." I'm still just I cannot be excited about this. It doesn't seem like it just seems it. I don't know. Those mechanics felt super dated in the 7th generation on like PS3 and 360. I don't know why I would play them in the 9th generation.
Yeah, I've not played many Telltale games. I think the only one I ever tried was the Game of Thrones one.
Oh, okay.
And even then, it was kind of meh.
Yeah, see the one that I played the most of was Back to the Future, and it's like, damn,
I forgot that they did that one. I did play through all of that one. I remember that one being okay.
If you can get Back to the Future and get like Michael J. Fox back as Marty McFly and Christopher Lloyd back as Doc Brown, and you still can't get me on board, I don't know. I would say that that's just a huge sign that these games are not for me.
Yeah, I remember the Back to the Future one being all right, but I'm also a huge Back to the Future fan, so
I mean,
might have clouded my judgment a little bit.
Well, here's the thing: is so am I. I have watched Back to the Future like literally dozens of times, probably 3 or 4 dozen times each movie.
Yep.
I absolutely adore those movies. You know, when you're a little kid and you get like, and I mean all little kids, this happens to all little kids, but they get like just attached to like one movie and then they can just watch the same movie every single day. That was, for me, Back to the Future was one of those movies. And then when I found out there was a Back to the Future Part 2, I could not believe it. And so then I started watching Back to the Future Part 2 every day. And Part 2 is the best one. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. Still couldn't get into the game. And I think that just says that those games are not for me. And so as far as like new Tales from the Borderlands, big who cares from me.
Yeah, there was one other freaking Telltale game that they mentioned, and I can't remember what it was called. I remember seeing the trailer.
I'm looking through the list.
The Expanse. That was it.
Oh, yeah. I've heard the show is great.
Yeah, I know nothing about it. It looked interesting, but again, not biggest fan of Telltale games, so
yeah,
it'll probably be a pass for me.
Yeah, same. You know which one actually kind of surprised me was Under the Waves. So this is Under the Waves is a Quantic Dream game, which I think that like I don't know. I think that the thing about Quantic Dream, the thing about this game getting announced that really surprised me is like, this does not look like a David Cage game. Like David Cage games are very, very like character driven stories. Even when they're bad characters, you know, Jason. But then also like, it doesn't look like a David Cage environment. And they said, 2023, which means it has to be coming out before Star Wars Eclipse, right?
You'd think, because Star Wars Eclipse isn't set to release for quite a while.
Right. Like, there's no way that they're going to get Star Wars Eclipse out before the end of next year.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's just so weird to me that they would announce Star Wars Eclipse, before Under the Waves and then release Under the Waves like presumably significantly before Star Wars Eclipse.
I mean, you also got to think they released it on Star Wars Day. A bunch of huge Star Wars announcements happened that day, so I can imagine them wanting to get their slice of the pie of that, being like, "Hey, we're working on this. Don't forget about us." In that sense,
yeah, maybe get like investors interested or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're even a publicly traded company, but like, I don't know. It just seemed strange. Under the Waves. Admittedly, I'm not a big David Cage fan. I think that he is just super overrated. Anyone who played, did you play Detroit Become Human?
no, but I watched the Leslie Nielsen version.
I don't know what that is, but it's got to be funny. So anyone who played that and came away from that game saying like, oh my God, it was such a powerful metaphor. And it's like, no, that was an allegory for like a second grader. Like, oh, it's the civil rights movement. Like, no fucking duh. And so I just feel like David Cage's games are ridiculously shallow with the pretension of, you know, a game as deep as the ocean. Like they're just insanely pretentious, thinking that they're, you know, these groundbreaking narratives, and they're really not. They're really, really elementary level. You know, I'm not even gonna say elementary. They are like college freshman level of like, oh, this is so deep, and it's like, no, you're just stupid. So yeah, I mean, I'm not stoked for Under the Waves. I just thought it was like super interesting that they would announce Star Wars before Under the Waves.
Yeah, I mean, I will give it this. Under the Waves, it did look very beautiful. Like,
Yeah,
graphically, it looked very impressive. So I'm intrigued to see more trailers on it. I'd like to see a little bit of gameplay, but it's on my radar now. I wouldn't exactly say I'm leaning one way or the other, but
yeah, and I mean, I guess you like to the game's credit, and you're right. I need to pump the brakes a little bit. To the game's credit, and to David Cage's credit, the games are digestible enough. Like they are, you know, stupid but entertaining enough that it's like, yeah, I'll play them. Like I finished Detroit Become Human, and even though the entire time I was like, oh, this is a kiddie pool of metaphor, I did play the entire thing, and so I'll probably play this game. I just don't know. I don't know. I'm not excited for it.
now I gotta ask: are you excited for Goat Simulator 3?
Goat Simulator 3. I thought I was okay. I expected this game. I expected this game to be at the show. I also expected a different game that we will talk about in a bit that closed the show to also be at the show. Considering Goat Simulator made a mockery of Dying Light 2 with their announced trailer, I was really hoping that Goat Simulator would be either right before Dying Light 2 or right after Dying Light 2. I mean, yeah, like this seems like a Game Pass game, like Maneater, right?
If it comes out on Game Pass, I'm going to be playing it. I loved the first one. It's just ridiculousness personified as a goat.
Yeah, so like full disclosure, I've never played any of them. This one looks awesome though. This like it looks so ridiculously silly.
I mean, and like something I didn't know, it looks like it's got multiplayer. So heck yeah.
Oh, so if it hits Game Pass, we'll play it together.
Yep.
Which like sounds, I don't know. It seems like this is a series that just really knows how to land a joke, because the fact that it was just like, I mean, obviously the way they did the reveal and they just completely recreated the Dead Island 2 trailer, like the one from, 9 years ago. Mm-hmm. That's hilarious. But then the fact that Goat Simulator 3 or Goat Simulator in general, it was just born of like, why are there so many stupid simulation games? So Now you're gonna be a goat.
Yep.
Like, that's
And
just funny.
It worked.
It worked really well. I mean, here they are on the third game, and it looks fucking awesome. So I'm super stoked on that. Now I did want to touch on the DualSense Edge. So I know that we both have PS5s. It is neither of our primary platform. How do you feel about the DualSense Edge?
I mean, I'm okay with it. It's a customizable, modded PlayStation 5 controller. Like, it looks nice. It looks like it's going to have quite a bit of functionality. Will I be picking one up? Probably not, because as you said, we don't use the PS5 enough to warrant it. But I don't know. I like it. It looks fine. Like, it's
yeah. Okay, so I think it looks ugly. I hate the glossy black. I wish it was matte black. I don't know. Like you said, like neither of us really play enough PlayStation 5 to merit or to like warrant buying it. Which, how much do you think this thing is going to be? Because like, it doesn't seem like they offer as much customization as the Elite wireless controller from Microsoft. So I think that maybe 150 would be a smart price point for them, considering
That's
the
what I
Elite
was
wireless
thinking.
is 180, right?
That's what I was thinking, especially given like, yeah, like you said, there's not as much customization to it, but
right. You know what I think is actually going to be hilarious and is like so you can like swap out the thumbsticks, right? And
Yep.
everyone's making a big deal of that, saying, "Oh my god, stick drift is never going to be a thing again." Honestly, with as unbelievably anti-consumer as Sony has been this generation so far, it would not surprise me if they wound up selling a controller that you can swap out the thumbsticks on and not selling thumbsticks. So that
I would have a hard time believing that. But
it would not
I mean,
surprise me.
You're right, but I hate that you're right because just it doesn't make sense to do that. So.
No, I don't expect it to happen, but if it does, I'll be like, yeah, that tracks. That's in line with the way Sony has been acting this generation. Something that really pissed me off about this though is it looks like there's only 2 buttons on the back.
Mm-hmm. I did notice that. Like,
why?
I don't know. You have plenty of space. Like, I'm looking at my controller right now, like feeling myself holding it.
Yeah,
I got enough space for at least 4, maybe
there's
6.
a lot of space for 4. Like, give me 4 on the back and I'm good. Especially since like, if you only give me 2, which I bought the back button attachment for the DualShock 4, only having 2 forces you to choose, okay, which 2 face buttons do I want to map here? Giving me all 4, just learn where your new face buttons are, and then you're good. So on my Elite Series 2, on my left ring finger is A, on my left middle finger is X, on my right ring finger is B, on my right middle finger is Y. And like, I just know that now. And on Sony's, I have to choose. Like, okay, which 2 do I like the most? And honestly, the way I choose is X is on the left, circle is on the right. Because those are typically like select and back.
Yep.
But that's, I don't know. That just seems like a really big missed opportunity on what is going to be a very expensive controller. All right. Hogwarts Legacy. I know that we're both pumped on this.
Yeah, I mean, it looks exciting. I'm going to be honest, wasn't super excited about watching them fight skeletons. I felt that was a little bit meh. I didn't exactly feel like that kind of fit within the world,
Yeah,
but
I'm kind of getting the sense that we're going to be fighting a lot of skeletons, though.
But I like the addition of the curses,
the unforgivable curses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
Yep.
I think that, like, I'm pretty pumped on this game. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and as excited for the game as I am, I'm actually more excited for what the game means for the series. So like now we're going to start getting to branch out, because I'm sure that this game's going to get a sequel, Hogwarts Legacy 2 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, what's to stop them from, making a 1700s Harry Potter game, or making like a founding or Founders of Hogwarts game, right? Where you play as Gryffindor or someone, and you live out that story. Or like, what's to stop them from expanding this universe in really interesting directions in the past, so that you're not completely, beholden to Harry Potter is all that matters.
Yeah, it seems like they're definitely just expanding the world outside of, oh, hey, Harry Potter existed and he was awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm super stoked on that. And I like that they're going back to the 1800s, because the fact that the books took place in the 1990s, it's like they're getting far enough away. It really feels like the Old Republic for Star Wars, right? Where like you guys are so like, Disney is so stuck in the kind of Skywalker era of Star Wars, right? Like, like kid Anakin to like adult Rey is basically the time frame in which they're telling Star Wars stories, and that is so unbelievably limiting to them, because they are just having to fill in the gaps of like, oh, this is what's happening between the major movies. And if they're not doing that, then they're telling a story about something else that's happening somewhere else to someone else. And that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter, because the galaxy is at stake, and it's the Skywalkers that are saving it. So Disney is really pigeonholed. But if they would just go to the Old Republic, suddenly they would be far enough away from the Skywalker era that like they could tell really fun, interesting Star Wars stories that are really compelling. And I think that that's kind of the sense that I'm getting from Hogwarts Legacy, is like they're getting so far away from Harry Potter himself that they're going to be able to tell something that I really like, tell a story that I could potentially really care about.
I agree with pretty much everything you just said.
All right.
But yeah, no, I'm super excited for this game. It's going to be a blast.
Oh yeah, for sure. Return to Monkey Island. Full disclosure, not into this game, but I'm very excited for you. So tell me what you think about this one, because I know that this is something you're stoked on.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I just love the characters. I love the atmosphere of these games. So I've been waiting for this since they've really announced it. I don't think I'm going to pre-order it. The pre-order bonuses don't really matter all that much to me, but I'll definitely be picking this one up.
And you're going to pick this one up on Switch, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That just feels like the right place to play this one.
Definitely.
Nice. Lies of P. This looked good.
Which one is this? Is this the one that looks like it was set in...
It's the Pinocchio one.
Pinocchio one, okay.
Yeah, but like really, really, really dark.
Yeah, I'll
Go
be
ahead.
honest. I think I might have missed this trailer when I got up.
Oh,
but
man.
I'll have to take a look at it.
Yeah. It's it seems really fun. Coming in 2023, PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One Series, and Game Pass. So Lies of P is definitely one that we will have to all be checking out.
Yeah, it looks interesting from the trailer I'm watching right now. So
yeah, I mean, I'm like, it looks like kind of like one of those takes, like, when, and this was kind of popular in like the mid-aughts. But when people kind of get on this like kick of like, creators get on a kick of like, okay, we're going to go like take a really grim, dark, brutal look at like a children's story. I've always enjoyed those types, and Lies of P looks like one of them.
okay, I'm in. It looks very Dark Soulsy. You got me.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. High on Life.
High on Life.
Tell me what you think of High on Life, because I have opinions, but I want to hear what you think first.
I mean, I don't think it's any big secret that I'm not the biggest Rick and Morty fan. Like, everything that Justin Roiland and them do, it feels super samey. Like, all the voices are always the same, and it's just like, all right,
They're the same fucking characters.
Yep.
Thank you. I'm like, I know people are like in love with Rick and Morty and whatnot, and it's so refreshing to hear someone else say like, whatever, because it's like they are the same fucking characters. They've written like 5 good characters, and then they just draw them differently each time. And I think that after like so back like, 20, 30 years ago, there was Simpsons, and then Futurama, Family Guy, American Dad. And after that, I had kind of had my fill on like, and even American Dad, I'm not that like, I've watched a few episodes. I like it, whatever. I just have kind of had my fill of like this, hey, we're an animated show for adults, and we're super edgy, and we talk about sex, and we cuss, and like that makes it funny. And it's like it doesn't make it funny. You still need good writing, and I'm kind of over that. And High on Life kind of seems like just more of that.
Yeah, I saw this. I was like, okay, the gun's talking. Okay, the knife's talking, and it's got murderous intent. All right,
right.
The whole thing just was just like, I don't care about this. I just don't.
Just feels like a very angsty, edgy teenager kind of thing. And I don't know, like, like something that like a 16-year-old who wears all black and cuts his own hair and thinks that, he's the Prince of Darkness and no one can understand him. It really feels like something that kid would think is funny, and I don't know why. I don't know why our society, just in like the last 5 to 10 years, has kind of adopted that and been like, oh yeah, this is really funny, this is good writing. It's like, no, it's not. it's not. And yeah, so and I mean, looking at like the gameplay in the boss fight, it looked just super bland.
Yeah, I mean, it looked interesting. I liked like the I guess the grappling hook mechanics. I'm always interested in those kind of things, but I don't know, the obnoxiousness of the characters just like was a huge turnoff.
Yeah. So. I guess I just look at it as like the gameplay itself, like the shooting and the grappling. It all looked fine. It looked like it would have been great if they had done that in 2000 when they were like, if they were like competing with like Banjo-Kazooie. But the fact is like, that's the kind of level that it looks like it's on par with, is like Banjo-Kazooie from 22 years ago. And the fact is Banjo-Kazooie was great in 1990 or in 2000, but it's been 22 years. It's a new game should be better.
Yeah, I'm not super excited about this one.
Agreed. One that I can't help but be excited for, because it just absolutely knocked me on my ass as far as surprises go. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
This one made me chuckle a bit. It's just another in a long line of horror movies from the 80s getting video games now, and I'm okay with it. Like, yeah. I probably won't play it myself, but it gave me a good laugh.
I mean, so like Friday the 13th, the game, it's from the same developer as that made like Friday the 13th. And I think didn't they also make the Predator game?
I'm not sure.
I think they're in Denver, but anyways, so yeah, I mean, like you said, it's just another in the long line of like 80s horror movies that are getting video game adaptations now. But I just kind of loved this. Like, I'm probably not going to play it, but I loved this because Killer Clowns from Outer Space is not that's not a title I ever thought I would hear again.
Yeah, I mean, it's just That's why I laughed so much, because like I don't know, it's not something I ever expected to
Yeah,
ever get like another iteration of in any form of media.
exactly. And that's what made it so special, right? And so like
Yep.
I have this friend Billy who he like loves old movies like that. Like God, I think it was like 2010. No. It must have been 2013. Um there was a movie, Curse of Chucky. So
God, Chucky movies, I love those.
so in 20, right. And like, but I remember, I remember being like in middle school or not middle school, in like elementary school and like young elementary school, and hearing about, oh yeah, my dad watched, Chucky, and my parents said that I'm not allowed to watch it. So it's like they're that old, right? And Chucky was such, like, it was so schlocky that it faded to like straight to DVD kind of thing. And in 2013, Billy hits me up and he texts me. He's like, "Hey man, you want to watch the new Chucky movie together or today?" And I'm like, "There's a new Chucky movie?" And he's like, "Yeah, it came out today." And so like, not only is Billy into Chucky enough that like he continues to watch the new ones, but he like tracks when they're coming out and watches them right away. And so Billy is like super into these. And I texted him right away. I was like, "Dude, they just announced a Killer Clowns from Outer Space video game." And so I'm sure Billy, this being asymmetrical multiplayer, I'm sure Billy's going to try and get me to play this with him. And I will probably do it. If Billy plays it, I'll play it. Okay, Gotham Knights. So I know that
I'm gonna go right off
care.
the bat and just say don't care.
Interesting.
I don't know. I liked the Arkham games way back when they first came out, but they're all just samey and very boring to me now.
Well, okay. What the fuck is going on with this series? Because it seems like, okay, so Warner has confirmed that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is an official continuation of the Arkham series.
Okay.
Is Gotham Knights just in its own realm?
I thought it was a continuation. I didn't think it was its own thing at all.
Right. I thought it was too. And they just haven't been clear. They haven't, because like, if it's its totally own thing, then why the fuck would they not just make a Batman game? Right? Why would they be like, "Oh, Batman's dead, and you're gonna play as these characters that nobody likes except Batgirl"?
I mean, I love Nightwing. Like, he's great. Like, freaking Robin finally going out on his own.
Yeah.
On his own shit, his own way. Like, I've always loved that story, but like here, like, I don't know. The entire thing I'm just sour on. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe this is unfair, but I have always, ever since the announcement of this game, well, I mean, okay, because this game has actually been in development for a really long time. I remember when I was living in Maine, hearing like listening to podcasts and hearing about like, oh, they're teasing something about Batman, right? Yeah. And then eventually we figured out, oh, they're teasing Court of Owls. And then it turns out the Court of Owls game that they were teasing, that we all expected to be the continuation of, like, to be the next Arkham game, was actually Gotham Knights. And so, like, basically ever since the official confirmation of this game, it has just seemed really lame to me. And I don't know. I was expecting them to get me on board, because I know that you just watched the trailers, but in the actual presentation, Jeff Keighley, when he led into this one, he was like, and now we're gonna go to Gotham Knights, and you may be playing it sooner than you were expecting, and kind of like teased that before they went into the trailer. Showed us the trailer. I was like, okay, whatever. But the entire time I'm watching the trailer, I'm thinking, if I can play this game today Like if they wrap up this conference and I can just go download this game right now, I'm into it. I'll do that. I'll go buy this game. Or like next week. But then they're like, then they get to the end of the trailer and they're like coming October 21st, 2022. And it's like, you guys bumped this game up 4 days and you made a big deal out of that.
Oh my God. Half a week?
Right, exactly. Like, this just feels like it was like a pre-order bonus that they were like, fuck it, give it to everyone.
I don't know. I just don't know about this game. If it comes to Game Pass, yeah, I'll probably try it. But like, yeah, everything I've seen about it is just never really hyped me up enough to want to spend $70 on it.
Yeah, I agree. Everything I've seen about it, it's like, God, if I could get that game for like $15, I guess I would play it. But I also didn't love the Arkham games. And I mean, I played 3 of them earlier this year. And I mean, the best one is Arkham Origins, which this is the same developer as Arkham Origins. So like that gives me just a tiny bit of hope, but I don't know. Moving Out 2. I liked Moving Out.
I loved the first one.
Yeah,
I'm super excited. Yeah,
Jillian loved Moving Out, so.
And
stoked.
It's 4-player now, so we're playing.
Yeah, definitely. Like stoked for more. It's gonna be cool.
Yep.
So I have never played Genshin Impact. Have you played Genshin Impact?
I have played Genshin Impact. I've played more Genshin Impact than I probably should have.
Okay, tell me what you thought of this 3.0.
I don't care about it really because I've only played when it first came out. I played for like a month, got to like level 20, and was like, all right, I get what this game is about. It doesn't have enough to hold my interest, and I was like, yeah, okay. But okay. I know a lot of friends who play it. I know they're super excited to have a brand new area to roam around in.
Right. Okay. So I've never played Genshin Impact. The thing that I found most interesting about this segment was actually Honkai Star Rail. Same developer as Genshin Impact, and the reason that I thought it was so interesting is because it looks exactly like Genshin Impact.
Yeah, I mean it's Genshin Impact, but it looks more spacey.
On like a space train, and it's like, you guys need to learn a different art style. I think.
I mean, it's the same art style that they've had since Honkai Impact, and then Honkai Second Impact, like way back when. So they've been going for a while.
I didn't know that. I mean, I don't know. I guess are they all like a part of the same series?
No, I think they're their own like mini game. Like they're all set within their own universes.
Gotcha. Then they need to learn a new art style. If all your games look the exact same, I don't know. Maybe diversify.
I mean, it's anime waifu gacha. It sells. People like it. I see no reason for them to change that now.
Yeah, anime waifu gacha. That's exactly how to describe that game. Park Beyond. This seemed like something that both you and Ethan would be excited for.
I started watching this. I was like, oh, another park sim. And then I started watching. I started getting
Roller Coaster Tycoon,
Thrillville, nostalgia. So I was like, all right, I might actually check this out. I hope it comes to Game Pass. I really do, because I don't want to pay full price for a game like this. But
yeah,
I am super excited for it. If it goes on sale, I'll probably be picking it up.
I was thinking that this was actually going to be a new Roller Coaster Tycoon game, and I was getting excited to like text Ethan about, oh my god, there's a new Roller Coaster Tycoon. It being what it is, seems like something you and Ethan really like. Seems like something Ethan will definitely pick up when it's on sale. I have no interest.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like your kind of thing.
Yeah. Outlast Trials. Have you played Outlast?
I haven't played Outlast, but one thing I did like about this trailer, it gave me very BioShock vibes, like just from like the dystopian environment.
I even said, is this BioShock 4? Yeah.
Yep.
I got the exact same vibe.
I absolutely loved that about the trailer. Will I pick it up? I don't know. I'm not much of a horror guy, so maybe. We'll see.
I love horror. I haven't played an Outlast game, so I probably will play Outlast Trials. I'll probably do it. Where Winds Meet, I didn't glean much from this one, except that I want to play this game.
Where Winds... Oh, was that the one that looked like it was set in China, right?
Japan is the thing I got.
Okay.
ESTNN, I don't, sorry, I'm trying to give credit here. It says, now the genre of open world action adventures is pretty saturated at this point. We had Horizon Forbidden West and The Amazing Ghost of Tsushima. So it's a little tragic to see people accuse Where Winds Meet of being Ghost of Tsushima clone, while all of those games clearly are still coasting on the success of The Witcher 3 and Breath of the Wild. So seems a lot like Ghost of Tsushima. Seems a lot like Forbidden West.
That was the same thing that I got out of it. I was like, oh, cool. It's a different Ghost of Tsushima. And that game was great. So.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that was an awesome game. So, like, yes, please sign me up for this one.
I'm intrigued. I want to see more on it.
Yeah. Okay. So Elephant in the Room. What was it? 2014, 8 years ago. We got the first trailer for Dead Island 2, and then the game went away, and we have consistently for 8 years heard rumors about it, and it finally got an official re-reveal. First of all, did you play Dead Island?
I did play the first one.
How did you feel about this trailer?
So my history with Dead Island is one of anger. I played the entire game co-op with my buddy. Loved it. Had a great time. But the fact that I couldn't gain any achievements while in co-op pissed me the hell off, because I didn't love the game enough to want to play it through a second time.
Go do it again. Yeah. Yep. That makes sense. That's stupid.
It soured it for me. But, I mean, they were fun games. Like, they had definitely interesting mechanics. It was one of the earlier, I guess, survival games, that started that trend.
Yeah, so it's now under Techland, who... Techland did Dying Light 2.
Yep.
And Dying Light. Oh, shit. Did Techland do Dead Island? Is Techland a one-trick pony? Like... that's kind of mean, but, like... Are they?
I mean, kind of, but like, I guess in that sense, kind of. But one thing I will say about Dead Island, it seems a lot more cartoony than Dying Light.
Right, Dying Light is kind of the serious flavor, or Dying Light is the serious flavor, and Dead Island is more of the comedic flavor.
Yeah, I liked this trailer. It was like, all right, cool. This is just. All right, you're blowing up zombies any way you can. Go have fun. And I was like, all right, I'm into that.
Yeah. I think that the trailer was absolutely very stylized. Like it made the game seem extremely stylized, and stylized in honestly like a decent way. I don't know. I won't blame anyone for wanting to wait to buy this game.
Oh yeah, neither will I. I mean, it looks like it's going to be released in February 3rd, 2023. I don't know what else is releasing around that time, but I'm guessing there are going to be other things to play.
Well, so there absolutely there is, because what is it? Dead Space is late January. And then we have a bunch of other stuff that's slated for like first half of 2023, including Diablo 4 and Starfield, and also Breath of the Wild 2 is supposed to come out early next year.
Yep, and there's going to be a new Destiny 2 expansion, so like there's going to be plenty of other things for people to play.
Right. So I don't know. I kind of feel like if Dead Island 2 is good, it'll find success next holiday season, so like holiday 2023, when it goes on sale, and it's already got good word of mouth of like the people who did buy it right away have said, oh, this game is really good. Reviewers have it's been reviewed very well, and like if it can manage to do those things, I think that they can expect to see a sales boom in like late 2023. But I won't be surprised if audiences hold off on this one for quite a while.
I mean, considering it's been in development for 8 years, yeah. It's easy to understand people being very wary of it.
And especially with Techland having done... Because, I mean, how long did Dying Light 2 get delayed, right? Over and over and over and over again, Dying Light 2 got delayed.
It was a good chunk of time. I want to say like 4 or 5 years.
Exactly.
Interesting. And
so, I don't know. So I don't know. Let's just. I want a prediction from you. How do you think this? Like, where do you think this one's going to land on Metacritic?
I'm gonna guess like a 7.8.
Okay, 78. I would be surprised if it is 78. I'm guessing 70. I think it's gonna score higher, or maybe even 68. I'm gonna say I'm locking in at 68. I think it's gonna do better than the current Saints Row.
Oh God, I don't even want to talk about that shit fest.
Did you buy it?
No, I didn't. But I've watched some people play it, and I've just seen so many things that are just like, oh God, why?
Oh, dude, I was watching Moist Critical play it today, and I was thinking, I kind of want to play this game.
Oh no, what are you doing? No,
it looks so bad. And like you said it best in our Discord of like, oh yeah, this like the characters in this Saints Row game look like people that the original Saints would have beaten up
just for existing.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it is. Like this game, not this game. I think that Saints Row 2022 is very much like an identity crisis game of they're trying to appeal to like Gen Z with, oh, the cost of living, oh, rent is expensive, oh, student loans. And it's like, right, but this entire franchise is kind of built on like just giving the middle finger to everyone.
Yeah, gangsters being gangsters, giving the middle finger to society and all of it that it entails.
And so you know what the Saints don't do is sit around and complain about rent.
Nope, they go out and they steal the money that they need for the rent, and then they fucking pay it.
Right.
Or they kill the guy that they're paying and just own the building. Like,
exactly. So there's, I mean, it's just like very much, I don't know, just identity crisis. I think that Dead Island 2 is going to land higher than Saints Row. Let me look up. Saints Row wound up at like a 61, I think.
Ugh.
Dying Light 2 Metacritic. Let's check on both of these. Metacritic Dying Light 2 PS5 76. Oh, okay, so maybe it'll do better. I'm still Dead Island 2. I'll lock in at a 70. I think 70 is where this game is going to end up.
High 70s. Yeah, I think it's going to be all right. I feel like the, I guess, more comedic action for it will give it a little bit more light. But
yeah. Okay, Saints Row PS5 63.
Not great.
No. Let's see.
No, reviews aren't everything, but it's still pretty
right. Reviews aren't everything, but it's definitely like it's a good way to get a snapshot of like, okay, how's this game doing? And something that I actually really like to do, because I do feel like, and this comes from someone who has gotten review copies and like before release and reviewed games and gotten paid to do it. I still think that it's very effective to split the difference between critic reviews and user reviews, because I think a lot of the times critics are more interested in what kind of like, and not all critics, but like some are like, oh, but it made social change. And it's like, well, but was it a good game? and like, if the answer is no. So So it got a 63 from critics. It's currently sitting at a 2.9 user score. So when critics are giving it a 63 and users are giving it a 29, that's pretty bad.
It's gonna kill the franchise. I know we've gotten a bit off topic, but it's gonna kill the franchise.
Yeah, I don't expect Saints Row to ever make a comeback after this. I think that did you play Saints Row 4?
Yeah, I've played all the rest of them.
Okay. So Saints Row was interesting. It was a game, it was a GTA clone to play on your 360 while you waited for GTA 4.
Yep.
Saints Row 2, they kind of amped up the zaniness, made it a little bit crazier, a little bit more fun, and took themselves less seriously. It was a very fun game. I would say it was better than the first. Saints Row 3, pinnacle of the series. It was amazing.
I would agree on that.
I loved Saints Row 3. Saints Row 4, I didn't play much of, but I heard it was really good. I enjoyed what I did play of it.
I thought it was all right. Like, I mean, it focused more around like the superpowers that you got in that one DLC in 3, and
right.
It was okay. It made like traversing the city a lot easier, but it also like negated the need for cars and guns at time, and I was like, this just doesn't feel like Saints Row anymore.
Right. So that's the thing about Saints Row 4 is it just went, it was a bridge too far. But it was still a fun game. It just didn't really, I don't know, it wasn't quite Saints Row anymore.
Yep.
This new one, I don't know. I want to play it. If I see it on sale for less than $20, I will buy it. It looks terrible. And I agree with you. I don't think that they will ever... I don't think the series will ever recover from this.
It's unfortunate, but yeah. On the other hand, a bunch of new stuff coming out, though, that was shown at this Gamescom that I am super excited for. So there's stuff to replace it, and I'm okay with that, because sometimes things just need to die.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. And there's a lot to look forward to, especially like a lot of new IP, right? And not even new IP, but like new series. So, Hogwarts, it's not a new IP, but like it's a new series of games. Callisto Protocol, new IP entirely. Moving Out 2 is still a relatively new IP. It's a continuation and it's going to be awesome. Sonic Frontiers, like a radical new direction for an established IP. Like, there's a lot of good coming down the pipe. It's a shame that Saints Row looks terrible, but there's a lot of good to be excited for, and I am super pumped. So that's all we've got for you guys tonight. If you liked what you heard, make sure to leave us a review and subscribe on whatever platform you get your podcasts on. We will be back next week. Tim, what do you want to talk about next week? You want to talk about PSVR 2, maybe?
Ooh, that could be interesting. I like the controllers.
I like the controllers a lot. Honestly, I like the headset a lot. I see it and I think, wow, maybe Sony can convince me to play my PlayStation. But we will be back next week talking about potentially PSVR 2, potentially something else. So until then, reset.
Reset!